The Geek Speak Show is produced and distributed by 22 Creations Multimedia, LLC.
Welcome to one of the longest-running geek culture podcasts.
What you talking about?
Of course, I'm talking about the Geek Speak Show.
You're still talking.
Henry San Miguel has been speaking geek since 2010.
Damn!
And he ain't shutting up anytime soon.
I'm sorry.
Now he has Emily Mata as the new co-host. And the nerdy Navajo, Shanclen, as well.
Oh, not everybody.
This is where you'll hear interviews with all the movers and shakers in geek culture.
As well as from up-and-coming talent that you won't hear anywhere else.
Ready? This is the Geek Speak Show with Henry San Miguel and Emily Mata.
Hello there. No, not General Kenobi. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the Geek Speak Show, and especially welcome to you if this is your first time listening to the show. And I'm sure we have quite a few first-time listeners, because we had an influx of new listeners, well, followers. Hopefully you're turning into listeners all last week and into the weekend. So welcome to all of you. I think it's from our free comic book day post on Instagram. We announced that we're going to be at 4-Color Fantasies. If you missed it, we're going to be at 4-Color Fantasies in Rancho Cucamonga for free comic book day. A lot of you, I'm assuming it's from there, because a lot of you sent messages asking, what comics are we going to be giving away? Because I mentioned we're gonna have some comics other than what you'll find in the shop at the Geek Speak table. So a lot of you have been asking, hey, what comics are you going to have? All I can say is that all will be revealed next week. Now, I might not announce I won't announce all the titles that we're going to give away. That's going to be on Free Comic Book Day at 4-Color Fantasies. Why? Because if you're not going to be there, why would you care what titles we have? I mean, I'm just saying. But I will announce who's going to be there, what else we're going to have to give away, and a special Free Comic Book Day weekend sale for our event, the Geek Speak Expo. That's next week, though. It's next week. Okay. I'll reveal one thing for you. I'll give you a freebie. I'll reveal this thing for you. Today's guest will also be at 4-Color Fantasies on Free Comic Book Day. You'll find out who that is, well, you know when.
Don't scrub ahead. You'll miss the complete Geek Speak experience if you do. The Geek Speak Show will continue after these messages.
Join the Geek Speak Show at their first ever live event, the Geek Speak Expo. Happening on Saturday, August 8th at Casa 723 in Fullerton.
I know you're gonna dig this.
You'll meet and hear from geek culture creators like composers Jacob Yoffe and Rowan Hilton, Mark Tullius, creator of the Try Not to Die interactive book series, the Sculpcado comics artists, Jeffrey Snow, founder and lead writer of Snowstorm Comics. There will be even more speakers and panels announced in the coming weeks, including a panel for up-and-coming filmmakers and a panel highlighting women and their contributions to the comic book industry. Spoiler alert! They're not just artists. Tickets will go on sale once all the speakers are announced. Be sure to make plans to join the Geek Speak team this fall at Casa 723 in Fullerton for the Geek Speak Expo.
Join the Geek Speak Show live as they celebrate Free Comic Book Day 2026. This year, they will be at 4-Color Fantasies in Rancho Cucamonga. On Saturday, May 2nd, visit 8045 Archibald Avenue in Rancho Cucamonga. 4-Color Fantasies will, of course, have free comics for you. The Geek Speak Show will also have free stuff for you. Comics from past Free Comic Book Days will be available at their table. They'll also have card games available for you based on the worlds of Edgar Rice Burroughs, Greek gods, and the Cthulhu mythos. Those are free too, by the way. But a limited number will be available, so visit their table as soon as you can. Plus, 2 of you will leave Free Comic Book Day with free comics and 2 free tickets to the Geek Speak Expo. But only if you come out and join us on the first Saturday in May for Free Comic Book Day. Meet the Geek Speak team at 4-Color Fantasies from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, May 2nd. Follow 4-Color Fantasies on Instagram at 4-Color Rancho to get all the info on who else will be appearing for Free Comic Book Day.
Ready for this week's guest? Good, because that's what's next on the Geek Speak Show.
Okay, we're back. Now, we've all read Edgar Allan Poe, whether by choice or because it was assigned in school. We didn't have a choice then. But we've also seen, heard, or read several adaptations of Poe stories over the years. So why not another one? Poe Noir is the acclaimed comic series featuring tales of murder, madness, and mayhem, all inspired by Edgar Allan Poe and film noir. Now, if you just asked yourself, hey, what's film noir, Henry? Well, let me put it this way for this audience. It's what you're going to see on May 27th on Amazon Prime starring Nicolas Cage, that Spider Noir show. Yeah, that's a little explanation of what it is. Poe Noir was created and written by Tim Zajac, and it's illustrated by Graham Sisk, along with a few guest artists that we'll probably bring up in a little bit. And joining me to talk about Poe Noir is Tim Zajac. Hey, Tim, how you doing?
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So before we get into Poe Noir, let's talk about you. Let's get your origin. Are you a comic book writer exclusively, or do you write for other mediums other than just comic books?
I'm pretty multimedia. I have a background in television and film, and I spent many years in my younger days doing theater. So those are sort of my my main pillars creatively: comics, TV, film, theater, and they all kind of revolve around one another. I work in TV. I've been a filmmaker. I've made a handful of shorts, got some festival play, and I keep going back to my theater work too. It was quite a while ago now, but I worked with playwrights quite a bit, and I directed a handful of new plays, and that was really instrumental too. In that, you learn to work with actors, and it's funny how that kind of translates to comics because Graham is my main collaborator on this project, and it's almost like the way I write for him and the way I work with him is very similar to the way I would be working with an actor if I were directing.
Yeah. Well, as you were saying that, actually, I was thinking, and really, if you think about it, because when did you start writing comics? Was that there before stage and film, or when did you start writing or thinking about writing comic books?
That is more, it's over 10 years, almost 15 years now, but that's more recent, relatively to my theater, film, television work. This idea kind of came about sitting in film class, learning about film noir and its connections. If you follow American literary history from film noir, those movies of the 40s and 50s, mm-hmm. they tie to dime novels and the pulp novels, the pulp writing from a few decades earlier. And that tradition goes all the way back to Poe. So I was learning about that in film class, and it made sense to me to bring those ends together to adapt Poe in the style of noir, which he influenced over a century later.
Yeah. Well, what I was saying is, as you were saying a minute ago, if you think about it, comic books in a way they kind of look like storyboards, film storyboards. Mm-hmm. So I would assume for you it's pretty easy to make that transition because you're already used to working with storyboards, and like you said, it's like directing when you talk to Graham. So it was. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but was it a pretty smooth transition going from stage to now I'm writing for comic books?
Yeah, I have no formal training in comic books, so I just took everything I've learned from television, film, theater, and the way I'm used to looking at screenplays and teleplays, and that's exactly how I started writing for comics and how I would format them initially. It's evolved because you grow with your collaborators, and I think I write more for Graham specifically now than I did when I was younger and when we first started working together. So it's less generic film, television, screenplay form, and more a format that it's still very, very similar, but it's a lot more tailored for Graham. And there are even places where I'm even calling him out in the script, going, "Oh, I know what you might like here, and I want you to try that thing that is inspiring you when you see this." So.
I'm sure some people are thinking also, why adapt Edgar Allan Poe's stories instead of coming up with an original character or story? Why Edgar Allan Poe in particular?
some of my favorite memories of like reading things in school are reading Poe. The number one memory that I really loved enjoying was it was a high school class, English. I can't remember if it was junior or senior year, but I remember reading The Cask of Amontillado. And that is the story where one dude gets his friend drunk and walls him up in the wine cellar to suffocate and die. Very grim, but very Poe. And the cool thing about Poe is that he never really spells out exactly what his character motivations are. He's very psychological, but he leaves a lot up to the reader to try and figure out. And that was so fascinating to me to read about this dude walling up his friend in the wine cellar. I wanted to know what the beef was because clearly they're beefing,
Yeah.
And what would it take? How bad must it be to go to that level? So that is stuck in my mind and stuck with me from an inspiration, imagination standpoint, and that happens to be the first story I adapted for Poe Noir was The Cask of Amontillado, and that it kind of goes back to that one memory in high school of reading that story.
And the film noir, it's pretty obvious you that's probably what influenced you when you were in that industry. But what why film noir also?
Very similarly, there's a lot of psychology involved in that. It's a genre, but it also kind of transcends genre. It really digs into like the dark underbelly of society, the dark underbelly of like the self and like the individual. And it too can really be striking and addicting, kind of dig into character motivations and why people do the things they do and why is our environment, why is our world this way. It's very broad, but that is the part of noir that has always kind of sucked me in. And of course there's the visual style, which that's the part that everybody knows from noir is the shadows, the contrast. There's a very distinct look to noir that I've loved from the get-go. So you put that all together in the pot, and that's what I'm cooking, and that's it's been very cool and very I guess addicting is the right word. I've been into it, and I cannot put it down yet. So
yeah. Like honestly, like anything you love, whether it's music, whatever it is, some people can call it addicting. It's just we just love doing what we do. Like I can't stop talking on this microphone. You could call it an addiction. So yeah, I totally get that. Now, how'd you find Graham? How'd he become your artist? Where'd you find him? Where'd you meet him?
Craigslist, believe it or not. We put a notice on Craigslist, and I got dozens and dozens and dozens of responses, most of which were immediately put in the discard, just by sheer volume. But when I saw he had some examples of a comic he drew that was set in like late 1800s, early 1900s Paris. And I set the Cask of Amontillado adaptation in Depression era New Orleans. So there's some commonalities between that period of time in Paris and the way New Orleans looks. So, heavy French influence. So just seeing him depict Paris in that very noir-esque way, that really drew my attention, and reached out and made a connection. And we've grown together ever since.
You're in LA, right?
Yeah, I'm based in LA.
Is Graham in LA or where is he?
Graham is based in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
And have you guys met since, or is it just all remote?
We have met once. I was in Michigan a few years ago, and I was able to drive to his part of the state, and we hung out for about half a day, and it kind of solidified and reaffirmed how well we were able to connect and create together.
Yeah. Well, like you were saying a minute ago, it sounds like at that point you guys already have like a second language. Like you said, you call them out and you write for Graham. So it wasn't, I'm assuming, not too awkward, the meeting, because you guys already knew each other from,
No, it was long. It was long due when we met. So
yeah. Which brings us to the Dupine Files. Tell us about the title. Tell us about that one.
Okay, so Poe is more or less the father of detective fiction. He wrote a handful of stories with Inspector Dupin, set in Paris in the 1800s. And they're so influential that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle credits him for influencing Sherlock Holmes. The Inspector Poirot character has also been influenced by Inspector Dupin. And what I've done with that detective character that Poe created is I've pushed that forward another century, also set in New Orleans. And we've kind of made him the archetypal hard-boiled detective that is a common trope in film noir.
Why New Orleans? Why settled in New Orleans?
It had to do with the source material because Paris is described in detail in some of these Poe stories, and it's almost a character unto itself. And I needed an environment that was analogous and really rich and kind of iconic and visually interesting. And I think it's fitting the bill.
Yeah, so there's two of them, and by the way, I have a link to everything on the show description, show notes for you guys to get it. The obvious question, I guess, is when will there be a chapter 3?
Chapter 3. Well, chapter 2 is not quite out yet. Free Comic Book Day in a week and a half. Coming up is going to be our debut for issue 2, and we're gonna be working. We are still working on issue number 3, and we hope that it will be out within the year. I'm aiming at WonderCon at the very latest, so that would be next March. Hopefully sooner, depending on how our lives work and how we're able to manage our time.
Yeah. Like I always say that life gets in the way, so that's why a lot of people don't like to promise things, especially right now, because you can say a certain date, but then who knows what's going to happen. It could be hopefully not. Knock on wood here, another shutdown or war. Seems like now who knows what's going to happen. So yeah.
we've had shipping snafus that have gotten in the way. So and that's completely beyond our control.
Yeah. So speaking of, are you going to be at any conventions or you have any appearances? You kind of teased one there coming up.
Yeah, I buried the lead there. I'm going to be at 4-Color Fantasies in Rancho Cucamonga for Free Comic Book Day. That is Saturday the 2nd of May. Really hyped to go and be there. I was there in 2024 with Chris and the gang, and they throw on a great party, and I'm very excited to join them once again. Beyond that, we are going to do Fan Expo Chicago in August. Got my fingers crossed. I'm hoping to drag Graham with me. It's not every day that we both get to table together, so I think that would be an amazing occurrence if I can manage to get him from Michigan to Chicago, but that's the plan right now. And we're also booked for the LA Comic-Con in October, and we're going to go back to WonderCon again next spring. So that's on the table so far. Hopefully more. We're working on more, but those are our confirmed appearances so far.
Yeah, I mean, for Graham, it is in the area. I used to live in Green Bay. I think you were originally from Chicago, so
I grew up in Chicago.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a drive, but still in the area. It's a lot. Tell him it's a lot closer than driving from from Michigan to San Diego. For example.
Oh, for sure.
So there's that. So
just a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, I have everything linked up on the show description, but they like hearing it from you guys, the guests. Give them websites, social media, everywhere where they can follow you.
We are on Instagram and Blue Sky and Facebook, and you can find our books in print on indieplanet.com. That's indie with a Y, INDY planet.com. And we recently went up on Global Comics, which is a digital platform, and I'm really happy with how our books are being presented on that platform so far. So shout out to Global Comics for hosting us.
Yeah, like I said, I have everything linked up on the show description. Just click either on the covers. It'll take you to there's a print and a digital version you can get, or get both if you want to. If you're a collector, you'll want to get both. So thanks again for joining me, Tim, and I'll see you at 4-Color Fantasies on Free Comic Book Day.
Thank you so much for having me, Henry.
Now let me take a pause, and I'll be back. I'll have Emily Mata join me, and we're gonna do a little bit of well, you know the name of the show. We'll speak some geek.
Aho, young warriors. Get ready to receive the teachings This is Nerdy Navajo News. Here's Shanclen.
Oh, not everybody. My name is Shanclen here with the Navajo Nerdy News. Let me start out in a galaxy far, far away. In news that should surprise no one, Oscar Isaac was in a podcast recently, and when the topic of his most famous line was brought up, he actually gave an explanation as to how that came to be. The line, of course, is, "Somehow Palpatine returned." Sorry, Emily, it's not that. They fly now. I know that you say that a lot. Anyway, Oscar said that that line was not in the original script and was not discussed in pre-production. It was thought up during reshoots. They were, quote, scrambling to get everything done. That line was a new addition right at the end. I think we just all need Obi-Wan Kenobi to wave his hands in front of us and tell us that those are not the sequels we're looking for. Please, because I'm not even going to get into it because I'm going to get into a huge rant. They might want to do that to Hollywood writers and heads of studios too, only tell them these are not the reboots we're looking for. Until then, MGM Amazon is starting work on Ferngully live-action reboot. It'll be written by Muriel Heller, and while there's no plot details yet, it's probably going to stick to the environmental message of the original 1992 animated film. And finally this week, you know by now that Marvel Studios will not be releasing Doomsday trailer anytime soon. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but there are two things that were revealed during the Marvel Studios presentation. The first is their answer to not having any IMAX screenings for Doomsday. They said, fine, we'll do it ourselves. They introduced Infinity Vision certification. It simply means that if a theater is branded as an Infinity Vision certified theater, you're watching Doomsday on the best screen possible. IMAX theaters will not be Infinity Vision certified, so their hope is that it will make viewers not want to watch Dune on IMAX. Kevin Feige also announced that the first Infinity Vision film will be re-release of Avengers Endgame in September, with some additional footage not seen before that will lead directly into Avengers Doomsday. That's what's happening this week, and I'll be back next week for more Navajo Nerdy News. Hagore!
Join the Geek Speak Show live as they celebrate Free Comic Book Day 2026. This year, they will be at 4 Color Fantasies in Rancho Cucamonga. On Saturday, May 2nd, visit 8045 Archibald Avenue in Rancho Cucamonga. 4 Color Fantasies will, of course, have free comics for you. The Geek Speak Show will also have free stuff for you. Comics from past Free Comic Book Days will be available at their table. They'll also have card games available for you based on the worlds of Edgar Rice Burroughs, Greek gods, and the Cthulhu mythos. Those are free too, by the way. But a limited number will be available, so visit their table as soon as you can. Plus, 2 of you will leave Free Comic Book Day with free comics and 2 free tickets to the Geek Speak Expo. But only if you come out and join us on the first Saturday in May for Free Comic Book Day. Meet the Geek Speak team at 4 Color Fantasies from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, May 2nd. Follow 4 Color Fantasies on Instagram at 4 Color Rancho to get all the info on who else will be appearing for Free Comic Book Day.
The Geek Speak Show continues now.
Does it really? Yeah, it continues. Now, if you listened last week, you remember that I said both Emily and Shanclen brought up some really good topics on the Issues of the Day episode. So good, in fact. Topics were so good. I didn't even bring up my topics. I did have one, though. I actually had 2 topics, but I did have one that even if there had been time for me to do my topics, I don't think I was going to bring it up because I don't think you guys were ready for that yet. Because you were all pins and needles, all excited because you were going to get something from Las Vegas, from CinemaCon. Well, it's been almost a week since the Disney presentation at CinemaCon, and now you're definitely ready for this topic because now you know you didn't get a trailer. I think I mentioned it a couple times. You should have listened to me. Told you guys we're going to get a trailer. We're not going to get a trailer yet. But that was actually the second topic I was going to bring up. And I'm going to bring it up. That's how we're going to wrap up today's episode. Emily's here, like I said, so I'm not going to do the talking by myself. this is the topic, Emily. I mean, for a movie as big as Avengers Doomsday, do you really need a trailer? What is it? 8 months, however long it is, because it comes out in December. Do you really need a trailer or a teaser for a movie as big as Avengers Doomsday? I mean, do you really think at this point people don't know that there's an Avengers movie coming back with RDJ and what's his name, Chris Evans back as Captain America and as Doctor Doom? Do we really need all these trailers and all that to get people excited, or no?
See, that's a really good question, because there is this mix of hype that I'm seeing, but it also feels like a little bit like doing too much. It's who's gonna leak this? When are we gonna get this? Or when are we gonna get that? And it's kind of like, I don't know, can we enjoy it? Can we just enjoy the time of pondering and thinking about what this movie might be like, then waiting for somebody to leak something out? It's kind of like, can there just be mystery? Can we have mystery?
Yeah, I think it was your topic actually that made me say that, or maybe it was Shanclen. I can't remember which one of you, but remember I mentioned that's something that's missing, that we've lost for some reason, our sense of wonder, and that's part of it. Is, not having an imagination now, because everybody can do YouTube. Everybody has some may not be as fancy as the stuff that we use here or that Shanclen uses on his channel or the studios use, but everybody has access to, I think you have access on your computer, you were telling me the other day, to some kind of editing software. So you can create your own, make beats if you're into music, you can create videos, everybody puts up videos on social media. There's a little bit of editing that goes into it, some graphics, all that stuff. So everybody thinks they can do it, and it's not a magical thing anymore because, well, I can do it. It's, doing a movie like Avengers Doomsday, it's not that big a deal. It kind of is. But a movie like that, like I said, I don't think it needs any. Okay, let me put it this way. If we were to go, let's say, into San Diego Comic-Con, comes and goes, we do our Geek Speak Expo, we're now into August, it's done. Now we're into Halloween. Everybody's dressing up and having fun, enjoying Halloween like always. Now we're into Thanksgiving, and you still don't have a trailer for Doomsday. Are you still not going to go watch? Are you still not going to be excited about it?
I feel like if we get a little bit closer to the actual release, because I feel like at some point I might sort of forget. I feel like, I don't know, that's a really good question, because, do we apply this to their other shows that they come out with that I feel like I have never seen before or ever heard about it? Because I didn't hear about this trailer and about this thing coming out. Oh, it's coming out this day. And I just completely miss it. But then you're right. It's it's such a huge movie. I think almost everybody knows about it and when it's coming out. So does it really need all of that? Do we need all this emphasis on trailers and stuff? And so it's it's such a good question. I'm kind of even still kind of
it is
at a loss for words. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also kind of an easy answer. The answer is no, it doesn't need any. And really, I'll answer for. I know there's a few of you that are probably rolling your eyes, shaking your heads they don't know what they're talking about because of what I'm about to say. No, this movie does not need trailers you don't need to see anything. I mean, RDJ is back as Doctor Doom. Captain America returns in Avengers Doomsday. Thor is back. Everybody. You saw all those chairs. You watched them. Don't say you didn't. Everybody sat there in 5 hours and watched empty chairs as they were rolling down the camera when the entire cast was announced. About this movie. Let me bring it to, like you said, other titles, other movies. Doomsday doesn't need it. Something like Brand New Day even doesn't need it. How about a movie? I think Shanclen talked about it in one of his Navajo Nerdy News reports. Bad Robot. Everybody knows that's J.J. Abrams' production company. They're closing up shop. They're leaving California. Never mind LA. They're leaving California. They're moving to New York. Right away, I saw the articles everywhere. It's the end of Bad Robot. He's got 4 movies coming out. I think they're doing okay. I think I told you guys about the trailer for The End of Oak Street that comes out in August around the time when we do our Geek Speak Expo. But there's another movie that, in fact, it was shown at CinemaCon that's also coming out. And in fact, The End of Oak Street isn't really a J.J. Abrams movie. He's a producer. He's not a director or a writer. I forget what it's called, The Great Beyond. The Great Beyond is an original story. It's a sci fantasy movie written, and for the first time since that Star Wars movie, J.J. Abrams is actually directing. Did you know, other than the people at CinemaCon, did you know he had a movie coming that he's directing?
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is, yeah, don't you think those kind of movies need more trailers than Doomsday does?
Yeah, you're right. Now that I think about it, I'm like, I didn't even hear about that. But then again, I feel like for some weird reason, I don't get like any of the trailers or things at all. I don't know if other people can relate to that.
Wait, what did you say? You say you don't get or you don't care?
No. I don't get them. Like they don't show up on any device or screen thing that I have. I don't know. Everybody email us. Is that the same for you too?
Wait. Forget the emails. What do you have?
I need to know.
What do you have on your, or what kind of phone do you have that you don't get those things?
That's the weird thing. That's kind of like, I feel so out of loop with these movies. Like, I also wanted to talk about like Project Hail Mary. Like now everybody's kind of like really interested and really psyched about this movie. But when that was coming out, I did not see a single trailer for it. I did not see anything, and everybody's like, "Oh, but they used the Oasis song, and so it looks really cool and interesting." But I was like, "Where are you guys seeing this? Where are you guys like seeing this stuff? Because I'm not seeing it." And so it's kind of like interesting. It's like, do other people have that same thing where it's like, well, I don't know, I didn't see that trailer, I didn't see this thing. Like, do they have to push for more like stuff like that to come out, like more stuff to promote this movie, or what? Because like I just feel like I'm not seeing them. Well, like I'm not catching these things.
For Emily Mata, yes, apparently they have to. but wait,
I'm guessing so.
But forget the trailers. See, I'm still on. I know everybody wants to know this. What kind of phone do you have, or what internet? How do you avoid all this stuff? Because that's something that a lot of people want to do. We're tired of getting spammed with trailers and this and that and commercials and all this stuff. How do you do that?
That's such a good. It's not because I want to. It's not because like I want to be out of the loop or I don't want to know, but I don't know. I just don't get, like, I don't see on Instagram, or I don't know, maybe it's because I'm on other platforms that don't necessarily, like, maybe people are catching it like on YouTube and they're watching their YouTube videos and they're like, oh, I saw the trailer on that YouTube video or something, or they watch a lot more television than I do, maybe.
Maybe it is your, well, what now it's turned into the let's get to know Emily thing. What do you get then if you don't get trailers? Or I mean, I'm assuming it's a lot of art because of your algorithm.
Yeah. See, that was like going back to like Doomsday and like the leaks or whatever. It's more that's the thing that I've been seeing. That's what my algorithm keeps pushing. It's kind of like, did you see this leak thing? Or, oh, somebody leaked this, or, oh, somebody like saw somebody shared this. Like, what? I got a whole video dedicated to the lasers. They're like, oh, they were using lasers in CinemaCon, and that's what I'm getting, really. I'm not really getting.
Wait, what lasers?
I guess they're like lasers that are pointing out people that like are using their phones to record their trailer and stuff. Yeah, like the security lasers. I don't know. They're like.
No, I thought you meant they're like shooting lasers. Like, whoa, that's security there, shooting lasers at people.
But, yeah, just like little things like that I get. It's not necessarily movie stuff. It's more people reacting to whatever is leaked, whatever is happening for these movies. More so, here is the movie itself. Like, here is the thing itself. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
I think it is. See, I didn't forget we were talking about it because I still want to know more. You and I, we gotta talk. We see if you were Shanclen, I would understand. Most people know this because he could easily just say, "I'm in the res. We don't get signal out here." Okay, it makes sense. He's out, in the middle of nowhere. The signal's not that good. Okay, that explains that. But the thing is, somehow he watches all the trailers. You're not in the middle of nowhere. Well, I mean, you think you are, but not. If you go where Shanclen is, that really is the middle of nowhere, the res. But he still gets him. So again, we got to have a smoke break, as Shanclen would say, and figure out how come you don't get these things.
See, does he get them or is he looking for them?
Well, I think
is he like,
again, because we all know how the algorithm works. Because he's looked for them before, it probably says, "Hey, you watched the whatever Lord of the Rings trailer all those years ago. Here's some more trailers." It probably gives them that. That's what I'm saying. With yours, I'm assuming it's probably a lot of arts, a lot of comics, stuff, maybe school things related to that.
See, that like opens to a whole new other like discussion about like how are we getting movies now? Like besides Doomsday and besides other big movies, is that like pushing for the algorithm to have your movie to come out? It's like you really gotta like, I don't know, pay a good huge chunk of money to get the algorithm to want to promote your movie, your thing. Because that's like something that I saw. I think that was the one thing I saw for Project Hail Mary was that the first thing that opens up on your TikTok when you open the app, it's like, I wouldn't say like a trailer, but like an ad for it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I don't think Doomsday really needs that, but I don't know. I just find it fascinating the way I think marketing.
Those are paid for, right? The ads you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're, like on YouTube, you can skip it after a few minutes, but you can skip through the ads. I don't think you can do that in like on TikTok or Instagram, can you? I mean, you can scroll away, but you can't skip it. So I don't know. It's a whole different world. I think I mentioned it the last time we or not issues of one of these episodes. I remember saying to somebody, there was a time when trailers, we never watched them because the only time you got to see them was when you went to the movie theater. Well, we didn't have cell phones back then either. But even then, you got a TV version. I remember when I was in radio, we had even if it was just audio, we had a 60-second version and a 30-second version. It was basically the audio from trailers, or it will be a special commercial, obviously, because radio doesn't have video, so it would have to be quotes from the movie or sound effects or something, and then of course the big voice guy, "Coming this summer to save your galaxy, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes." That was it. That was all you got. Then you went about your life. You forgot about it, and then I would understand being reminded over and over, Empire Strikes Back is coming, because you would forget. Today, like I said, I don't think you need reminding. Everybody's seeing the RDJ clip when it revealed himself at Comic-Con. Everybody has their theories. Everybody knows somebody who knows somebody that worked on Doomsday, and they're telling me what's really going to happen. It's probably not. They're probably wrong. But I mean, it turns to a whole other thing. But the other thing that leads to too many trailers is, and this comes from the studios, not from other people. What I don't like is, like, for example, around Thanksgiving, we're probably going to get a whole avalanche of Doomsday stuff. And they did that with Fantastic Four. The last time the Geek Off the Street guys were on, that's what they complained about Fantastic Four, that they were actually excited about the movie until it was all given away like days before it came out. There was a little teaser on TikTok or and Instagram, and they gave out a big plot point. Then another one reveals something else, and it's like, I get mad even. It's like, you got a day to go. Can people just wait a day till you go see it in the movie theater? You're going to have to give out the whole thing. So I hope they don't. There's a lot that's going to happen. I can say that in Doomsday, but I hope they don't give it all away at Comic-Con or, a day before the entire world goes to finally see it. And the fun thing is, if you didn't like this, well, buckle up, because we're going to do it all over again next year when we're getting ready for Secret Wars. So, I don't know. That's why I always say, just watch the movies when you can, and every other time, read a book.
Sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and supernatural. Comic books, graphic novels, ebooks, and ongoing or new series. You'll hear them all right here on the Geek Speak Show Book Club.
You will, and actually, your book, yes, I gotta tease, does kind of tie into what we were just talking about. Not the movie, but the genre, I guess. So you go ahead and go first. What's your book for this week?
But speaking of comics, my book is, again, a trade, which is for Absolute Wonder Woman, The Last Amazon. I've been really enjoying this book. A lot of people, if you guys see me in person, will have to say that we do share a fair resemblance. I've been enjoying this new take on
who
her.
does?
What?
You and the person who meets you, or you and Wonder Woman?
Me and Wonder Woman.
Oh,
Me and
okay.
Absolute Wonder Woman.
Like I say, that's kind of weird. You're gonna look like everybody that you meet. How do you do that?
I'll hold a mirror up in my face. But it's such a fun take about Diana. I've been loving this. I feel like out of all of the Absolute things that have been coming out, I feel like she's probably one of the most popular. Not saying the Absolute Batman hasn't been popular either, but I feel like his popularity is due to his character design more so than the story. Because I feel like I've been seeing more so people talking about Diana's story and her kind of like overarching thing of it being different. Like now she is the last Amazon. Haha, get it? Yeah, and I love this really like, again, like absolute take about her. I like the grief that is centered around her. I don't want to give too much away. I feel like I'm kind of dancing around the actual story.
Yeah.
As if like nobody has read this book.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they have, but you know, we don't do spoilers on the show, so yeah, I do like how you are dancing around it. But I was laughing earlier because, well, we haven't spoken since he went over to the distinguished competition, but I could text James Gunn and tell him, hey, trademark that. My new co-host Emily, she came up with that word, absolute things. That's what all these things should be. All this absolute universe. That's what it should be talking about. Absolute things from DC by Emily Mata, and it's recorded, so you can't say no. Yeah, but I was gonna ask you some more things, but it can get a little spoilery. We don't want to do spoilers here, so you definitely want to get it. I'll put a link on that on the book club section. For mine, actually, again, like when Shanclen is here, it usually happens because usually he has comic books. Mine's not a comic book; it's a regular book. It's a book. The Fandom, it's called, by Anna Day. Imagine this: imagine 4 friends at a Comic-Con. And they're there, like most people do. They're there to meet the actors from the movie of their favorite book that's been turned into a movie. But they're going to meet the actors who play the characters in this thing. Now, as they're taking pictures, you know, the usual stuff everybody does at Comic-Con when you meet Mark Hamill or whatever actors are there. As they're taking pictures and getting posters, getting them signed, and you know, having taking selfies, all of that, there's a loud explosion. And then when they look, everybody's okay. But when they look around, they realize those 4 friends, they're now in that book. That book is their reality now. And they are not exactly the main characters, but they are friends of them. And whatever they do, it does change the canon. Even though they know the canon, you know, like we know Star Wars or whatever our favorite movies are. We know the lines backwards, forwards. So do they. So they think, oh, this is going to be easy. We can just follow the lines. If they do any kind of a little Back to the Future-ish, if you change something, it completely throws the canon off. Now, kind of spoilery, but you know, this is how I can explain the thing. The main character in the book that they like, the first 5 minutes after they arrive in this new world, they cause that character to be killed. So she's the big heroine she's the main character of the Fandom story. they cause her to, something that they do causes her to be killed. And now one of the friends has to take her place. And hopefully the same things happen otherwise at the end of the thing will go on forever, basically. Now, there is one way for them to get back to their lives, to our world, and that is to go through the whole canon, and they have to die. Because the book is a tragic book. There's a tragic end. They hang for what they believe in at the end. So they have to do that. And there is a Yoda-like character from the other world that explains this to them. And they, of course, question it. Like somebody told you, Emily, the only way to get out of this and go back to your world, you got to get hanged at the end. And by dying, you'll wake up in your world. Would you believe him? I mean, you got to die, basically. Would you believe him, or would you just stay in that fandom? Don't answer, because you got to read there is an answer, kind of. You got to read it again. It's called The Fandom by Anna Day. That's my book. It is on Amazon. It came out in 2018, and there actually is a sequel. I'll be reading that one soon, so I'll probably pick that one. But this one is called The Fandom by Anna Day. That's just the setup. So if you ever wanted to be part of the Lord of the Rings world, or Star Wars, or Star Trek, or whatever, or Marvel, or whatever your fandom is, reading this book, you might have second thoughts. Maybe it's not as fun as you think it would be. So there are our books. Next week, we're going to get you ready for comic books biggest day. No, not Comic-Con. That's in one place. And it's not really just comic books. This holiday is just Comic-Con. It's a global. Comic-Con is in one place in San Diego. This one is all over the world. Talking, of course, about Free Comic Book Day. I'm going to reveal what the Geek Speak Show is going to be doing at 4 Color Fantasies during Free Comic Book Day. And the Geek Expo announcement. Yes, the one you've been waiting for. No, not exclusive to just a few people. What is it? Well, you know what you got to do. You got to come back next week and do what?
Speak more geek.
Or leave the speaking to us. One of the two. We'll talk to you next week.
While you wait for the next episode, follow the show on Instagram at Geeksy. You can watch event coverage on the show's YouTube channel, Geek Speak Videos, and also on TikTok at The Geek Speak Show. Learn more about the show's upcoming live event, the Geek Speak Expo, at the official website, thegeekspeakshow.com. The Geek Speak Show will return in Avengers Doomsday. No, actually they won't. They'll be back next week to speak more geek.
The Geek Speak Show was produced and distributed by 22 Creations Multimedia, LLC.